package to Pakistan, saying its board was satisfied with Pakistan. The global body claimed Pakistan met all the targets as laid down by the global body to meet the funding criteria. Executive board of the IMF has decided to allow for disbursement of $1 billion loan to Pakistan. This disbursal was done as part of IMF's extended fund facility to the country. IMF has imposed 11 fresh sets of conditions on Pakistan in exchange for the $1 billion bailout program. IMF in its conditions said that Pakistan must seek parliament nod for the federal budget for the next fiscal year in line with the International Monetary Fund agreement by June, implement agricultural income tax reforms across all provinces, and draft a plan for phasing out industrial incentives by the end of this year. Listen in to the IMF director.
भारत यही चाहेगा कि IMF पाकिस्तान को अपनी $1 बिलियन की असिस्टेंस पर वह पुनर्विचार करे और आगे भी किसी भी तरह की सहायता देने से IMF परहेज करे। भारत नहीं चाहता जो फंडिंग हम IMF को करते हैं वह डायरेक्ट या इनडायरेक्ट किसी भी तरीके से पाकिस्तान या किसी भी देश में टेरर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को बनाने में वह इस्तेमाल की जाए। हम नहीं चाहते। साथियों, अब यह स्पष्ट हो गया है कि पाकिस्तान में आतंकवाद और वहां की सरकार का चोली दामन का संबंध है। स्टेट और नॉन स्टेट एक्टर के बीच का नकाब अब पूरी तरह से उतर चुका है। अतः इस परिस्थिति में यदि वहां परमाणु अस्त्र एटॉमिक वेपन रहते हैं तो इस बात की संभावनाओं को भविष्य में नकारा नहीं जा सकता कि कभी वो आतंकवादी तत्वों के हाथों में चले जाएं। ये सिर्फ भारत के लिए नहीं बल्कि पूरी दुनिया के लिए और पाकिस्तान की आम जनता के लिए भी एक गंभीर खतरे की बात होगी।
It is part of a standard procedure under programs that our executive board conducts periodic reviews of lending programs to assess their progress. And they particularly look at whether the program is on track, whether the conditions under the program have been met, and whether any policy changes are needed to bring the program back on track. And in the case of Pakistan, our board found that Pakistan had indeed met all of the targets. It had made progress on some of the reforms. And for that reason, the board went ahead and approved the program. With respect to the voting or the decision-making at our board, we do not disclose that publicly. In general, board decisions are taken by consensus. And in this case, there was a sufficient consensus at the board to allow us to move forward, or for the board to decide to move forward and complete Pakistan's review.
Going straight across to Karishma, getting in more details on that big story this morning. The IMF, they're giving out reasons as to why Pakistan has become eligible. Is there anything at all that India can do? Talk to us about what's the way forward then.
Well, Sneha, it was yesterday that during the briefing, what we also just heard, Julie Kozak, who's the director of IMF Communications, did share to a question that I tossed her on the fact that India is not happy and it's subtly disappointed that the money that the bailout package that IMF has given to Pakistan could actually be used by Pakistan in building infrastructure supporting cross-border terrorism. Now, IMF says that there are 3 and 4 important points to look into here. Of course, we heard Julie talking about the timeline of the event and how the EEF process is conducted, but IMF did share that as per IMF, the financing is solely meant to resolve the balance of payment issues only, and these disbursements that have gone to Pakistan go to their direct central bank reserves and cannot be used for anything else, which is more on towards the government budget financing. Now, there is a zero limit on lending from central bank to the government. The program includes certain structural reforms. The bailout that IMF has given to Pakistan is as per some structural reforms in order to improve their fiscal management. A very important point that I caught from this was where she said that any deviation from these conditions will affect IMF's future reviews to Pakistan. And in the past, we have seen that Pakistan was taken up by IMF for not abiding by its structural reforms, and their funding was paused for some time until they got back to fulfill it. So it's an important point to notice, and the fact that IMF does acknowledges that these funds cannot be used for other such purpose. However, they do defend the fact that the bailout package given to Pakistan was something in the offing for a long time, since September 2024, when the reviews had begun.
All right, I'm going to leave it there for the moment. Karishma Asantani getting in those details this morning. The manner in which the IMF has come to the rescue really of Pakistan and justified that as well. First, the bailout really, and then the conditions. What are the conditions? What does IMF, the International Monetary Fund, really want from Pakistan that it's bailed out? Approval of 17.6 trillion budget. The condition is agricultural income tax reforms. Governance action plan. How do you want to repay this loan? What do you intend to do? Maintain real purchasing power is the other condition. Also, post-2027 financial sector strategy. Electricity tariff. Remove cap on debt service surcharge. These are the conditions that have been imposed on Pakistan.